Hey guys, it's me, Crystal, and today I'm going to show you how to replace the counter on your Sentro or Jamit knitting machine. This is my knitting machine I bought on Amazon. Let me pull it up off my table real quick. It is a Jamit, which I ordered a Sentro, but this is what I received. It seems to be that this is the same thing. It's just, for some reason, they come with different names sometimes. I'm guessing they come from different factories. It is made in China and it's all plastic. But I have to say it works really well with the exception of one thing, and that is the counter. The counter broke pretty much 3/4 of the way through the first hat I made with this, so that was kind of a bummer. And at first I was like, oh great, you know, but then I started looking and I found out that like everybody has that same problem. Almost everyone who has this machine has the same problem. So people have been figuring out fixes, and I saw several people talking about getting one of these magnetic counters, which this may not look like anything because it sure as heck doesn't look like anything to me at first. But what this is a digital counter, and it has, this is the little sensor, and then there's this tiny little magnet that we have to glue onto one of these little pegs. And then I actually have to wire this too. So in order to attach this, I'm gonna have to be attaching it to the side of my machine. I got some heavy duty Gorilla mounting tape, and I got my little magnet I'm gonna have to definitely glue. And then I also saw people mentioning that to use thread magic to put where the, down here where the yarn will, sorry for my suction cups, down here where the yarn will be going, and it helps with static and makes it run through the machine smoother. So I thought I would add that in as well, or just glue it here or stick it on the side. We'll see how it goes. First I'm going to tackle wiring this, I guess, would probably be the first place to start. So first we're going to figure that out. Okay, after doing a little research in the Amazon comment section, it looks like someone said they attached the blue wire to the positive terminal and the brown wire to the negative. So when I first did this, I didn't understand how this worked, so I was doing one over here on the count side for the positive terminal, and then I put the other one on the left where it says reset, and this is incorrect and it will not work if you do that. So right now where I'm putting that blue wire is right. That one's going in the positive terminal under the side that says count, and you're just gonna insert it, and it was kind of tricky at first. The wire was kind of flaring out on me, but once you get it in there, you hold it in place and just screw it down to tighten it. And then the other wire, the brown wire, you're going to be putting it on the one right to the right of that as the negative. So see, I'm about to put it in the wrong one. I'm gonna put it over here on the other side because I had no clue what I was doing, but now that I'm looking at it, it's pretty obvious. It says reset over there. Don't do this or it won't work. So I'll fix it in a minute. Take this blue wire off, and I'll show you what it looks like when I do it properly. And put it in this terminal. Okay, now let's see what happens. I'm gonna turn it on, and then we're gonna run the magnet in front of it and see if it works. It works! Oh, look at there, that is magic. Let's see if reset works. Oh, it does! Oh, this is awesome. Okay. That is what you do then. Look at that. That is so cool. Okay, I'm like way too excited about this. Okay, so this is the proper wiring. You could probably do it without making yours twist because I put mine on wrong at first. But blue goes in the positive one on the side that says count, and brown goes on the negative one. And they're both on the same side. Don't put them over here. So there, that's one problem solved, yay. Oh, and the controls for this are kind of weird. So I just turned it off and it looks like that, but it's actually off and they will slowly fade away. But when you push pause once, it turns it on. This is your reset button. And then you push pause again, it turns it off. So kind of weird, but yeah. We need to glue the tiny magnet onto the back of this peg. Now I'm picking this one because the white one is right there. So I'm going to be gluing it right on this one, and you'll see it'll be spinning. It'll go around and around. At first I was a little worried it wouldn't fit through here, but I think it will, and I see other people have managed to do this with success. So my main goal here is I'm not going to glue it too far down because I don't want it to rub against this white plastic. I am going to use this glue I have that I hope will be strong enough. I'm honestly not sure, but I'm going to hope for the best. And hopefully I can do this without making a giant mess. I am not the neatest gluer in the world. So I just stuck a decent amount of glue on the back of the magnet, and then I just held it in place, and it kind of set a little bit, but it took a minute and it was kind of moving on me. So I decided I needed to put something under it so it wouldn't be stuck down right next to the plastic. So it just kept sliding down. So I just grabbed a couple pieces of cardstock that I had laying around and stuck it underneath and carefully just made sure it was where I wanted it. See, I was having some trouble, but that way I knew there was a little bit of a spacer. So now we have to attach this guy to the side here. It was mostly set. And I want it to line up right. So I'm gonna make this a little bit shorter because I feel like, I don't know, I don't want it to stick out too far. Hopefully that's okay. So there's just two like plastic nuts here, and you just can screw them together and it'll hold it in place. Oh, and I have this plate that came with it, and I have it, there's an oval shaped hole on one end, and I have it stuck in that, and a plastic nut on each side. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna place it where it will meet up with that magnet right when it gets over here. And I'm just gonna stick it, I'm gonna try using some of my mounting tape to do this. We'll see how it goes. All right, I have a isopropyl alcohol prep pad right here. Going to grab that out, and I'm going to clean this metal plate with it. Try not to get my fingers where I'm cleaning. So there's that. And then I'm going to clean the plastic here on the machine as well. All right, so that's good. I should mention that if you want to do this yourself, all of the supplies I'm using will be down in the description below. So I think what you do is you just peel it up like this, and then you're gonna stick it on your surface that you want to stick to something. Okay, so that's that. Just going to cut this pretty much even with the bottom of the plate. There we go. And I'm actually going to cut off this excess too, because I know that'll be a disaster having all this sticky tape everywhere with yarn. Remove clear liner and align it where you want it to be placed. This is the moment of truth. So I gotta find a corner. Peeling off the tape. There we go. All right, now I can't screw this up. I have to do a good job. All right, so I want it right here. I want it to be lined up. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, and it says to press firmly for 60 seconds, so I'm gonna sit here for 60 seconds now. Okay, it has been 60 seconds. That sucker feels pretty secure. I think it worked. Yay! Now, I don't know how my glue is doing here. It's still not dry at all. It's a little dry, but it's gonna take a while. The next thing is to figure out what to do with this. And what I've seen people do is just attach it onto your counter area here, which makes sense. It's unfortunate that we have to have it sticking out so far, but I guess there's just really not much else you can do about it. I wonder if I can remove this bracket and just attach the plastic right to that. You know, I'm going to try that. It's really easy to remove the bracket. You just unscrew the screws and just take it right off, and it doesn't affect the functionality in any way, so you don't have to worry about that. And then at this point, I decided to turn my counter on and see if it worked, because I just, for some reason, thought that bracket would affect the functionality, even though it doesn't. I realized that the magnet was not registering on the little counter, and I realized what I needed to do was make the little thing, the little yellow thing sticking out, whatever that's called, I had to make it closer to the magnet. So what I ended up doing was just unscrewing the little plastic nuts that are holding it on the bracket and making it so that the yellow part just sticks out closer to the magnet a little bit. And that solved the problem, and then it worked just fine after that. So it's really easy to adjust if you find that it's not picking it up at first. And at this point it was working perfectly, and I was very happy. Next step is going to be to attach it here. Dry, so and since those two pieces of plastic will just be butted up together, I'm going to use some more of this Gorilla Tape. It looks like it's about the perfect size to go on there. First, I'm cleaning both surfaces with an alcohol prep Gorilla Tape for this, and I'm going to make sure you're on the top. I already cleaned it with isopropyl alcohol, so I'm just sticking a strip, and this fits perfectly. It's like it was meant to be. And trimming it down to size. Ah. Okay, there we go. And now I'm going to peel the plastic off. And now I'm going to stick it against here for 60 seconds. Okay, so for the last step, I have opened this package of Thread Magic, and I didn't realize it, but it actually comes with this, and it comes with this little tiny piece that it even... Mom, I'm making. It shows, well, you can't see it now because I opened the package. Oh, here, I can put it back together. It shows that you can stick it on a sewing machine to slide thread over it. So I'm thinking, hold on, sweetie. I'm thinking that if I just, it comes with a little 3M strip right there. I'm gonna try sticking it right here and see how that works. So I'm gonna go ahead just in case and grab my alcohol prep pad and clean this area off real fast first. I'll let that kind of dry and see how this does. So I'm just gonna go with what it has attached to it already. Hopefully it will be strong enough. We will see. And I'm just gonna stick it right here. See how this goes. And what I saw people talking about, they had actually taken this container of the Thread Magic and stuck it right here and taped it onto the front of their machine.
It's really cool.
So if this ends up not working very well, that would be my alternative, is figuring out how to attach this to the front of your machine right here. I saw people using a lot of masking tape, and I'm hoping to avoid that, but I might try my Gorilla Tape for this too. But it's kind of tricky because it's hollow on the back here, so I don't know, it'd be kind of difficult, but we could figure that out. But I'm going to try this for now. Hopefully this will work good enough and I won't need to use the big one. I left it to dry overnight, this glue on this little magnet, and it seems to be on there, so that's good. So everything is pretty much attached now. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take the old counter out, because whenever, I'll show you how it sounds. Okay, normally it makes this horrible clicking sound, and of course now it's not going to do it. Isn't that just amazing? Okay, now somehow the counter is like working perfectly. What the heck? Okay, ironically now my counter is working, but I know it's not going to last. It never does. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the bottom of this counter out, and I'm going to I'm going to fold this cord up and stuff it up inside of there. So I need to flip this over, and hopefully everything will stay attached properly and not like fall off. I'll be really careful here. All right, so I have it flipped upside down, And you can see there's just a little screw hole here, and it came with a screwdriver that fits perfectly on all these screws, and it actually worked perfectly for this too, conveniently enough. So I'm just going to unscrew this. There we go. Pop that out. If you unscrew, there's a screw here and a screw here that'll remove the counter, but I found last time I took it apart to try to fix it, I had to unscrew this one too and actually take the counter, like take half of it at a time because the whole thing wouldn't fit through here. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so here's half of the counter. You see this is the actual counter part. I'm going to put that aside, pull these screws aside, and then I'm going to take out this part. This is the little thing that turns whenever you're spinning, and it is what's supposed to trigger the counter that always gets, but it always seems to slip and get messed up. There's just pieces coming apart here. I'm just going to put them all in a pile. So what I'm going to do here is just take all of this and I'm going to keep it. I'm going to put it in a bag or something, like a little Ziploc with all the screws, just in case I ever for some reason want to use it. But I am just going to take it completely out for now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind up this cord and stick it in this hole. Before I stuff it up in there, I need to wrap this like behind the leg, yeah, like that. I'm going to wrap it behind this leg so it doesn't, I don't want this cord to be in the way of the yarn. But there, now I just kind of stuffed it up inside there. I think I can just put a piece of tape here to hold it, kind of. I'm just going to use a piece of Scotch tape for now because I have it right next to me. And I'll see how this works, and if it works pretty well, then I will use something a little more permanent, like a piece of duct tape or something. The wire goes from this thing, I have it going up and behind, I have it just Scotch taped right there, and then I have it just shoved up inside the old, where the counter used to be, and again Scotch tape, and then it's just hooked up right there. So that's just my simple little counter, and it works great. And if you have one of these and your counter has broken, I highly recommend that you set up yours like that too. So that's it for this tutorial, and I hope that you found this helpful. And if you did, please leave a like, comment, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thanks for watching.